Buzz.
Awesome. Okay, so 2024. First of all, I cannot believe that it is like almost the middle of November. Like, agree? What the heck is going on? I feel like it was just, June, July, August, and I don't even know where September went. Like, I think I missed that completely. But now, but at the same time, I'm glad it's almost over. It's been a crazy year for the real estate market, lots of stuff going on. And I don't know about you, but for me, I have to disassociate myself with a lot of the stuff. There's a lot of drama with NAR, with all of that. I educate myself to where I know what's going on, but then I try to stay focused on my plan. And so in order to do that, I have to know what my plan is. And I've never been the type of real estate agent who was able to dig into the numbers and all of that. Like, I'm more of a what's meant to be will be. I'm going to do the work and the abundance is going to come. And that happens all the time. And I'm so grateful that I am able to create this stuff and hopefully help you guys look at your year a little bit different next year and start to focus on maybe some of the work that you could get done still this year to prepare yourself for next year. So with that being said, first of all, let me go ahead and just tell you a little bit about myself. So I have been a real estate agent for over 21 years, though that number keeps going up way faster than I want it to. But I was first licensed in California and in 2003, and I was 9 months pregnant when I got my real estate license. And I found out that I got it and I couldn't wait to go to work. I was like, I had a 1-week-old baby when I got the letter in the mail that I had passed. And I was like, okay, mama's got to go to work. And I had like 4 contracts within my first month. I did phone duty. And so I was really good at phone duty because I like to connect to people. So when they call and they wanted information, I just start talking about their family and like, oh wow, you're moving, like where do you live right now? And just get interested in having that conversation with them. So I did really good. I actually have an award for my first year. I got Rookie of the Year, and it just went on from there. So 21 years, and I call myself a career realtor because I never had a desire to be like a mega agent. I've never sold 100 homes in 1 year. I average around 40 to 60 every year, depending on what kind of year it is, what's going on. Some years better than others. I have an amazing partner agent program that I do now. So I do have somewhat of a team. I still do a lot of the lead generation. I create the systems for my team, but I no longer show or go on listing appointments. My team does that for me. And I'm able to do that with the platform that we have here at Epic, and it's amazing. So I also last year co-authored this book called Step Into Your Brave. And a lot of that story is about when I got my real estate license, where I was in my life. And then after I got that license, how I did so great, but yet I still had so much self-doubt and I was always in my head. And even though I was winning awards and doing great, I still saw myself as a failure. Like, I literally had this issue for years and years. And so my story in that book, which you could get on Amazon, goes a lot more into that. So so I actually became an author, and that was something that was really cool. So I have 4 sons and 7 grandsons, and my why for everything that I do is so that I could be the leader that I would want those boys to all be. Even though I'm a woman, I'm all about empowering, helping others, inspiring, coming from a place of gratitude, abundance, and just living the best life that I can live, no matter what the problems are, because trust me, they're there. The problems are there for me every day. I don't just live this life of unicorns and rainbows, but I try to make the best out of every situation. And I always try to do like win-win circumstances in every situation. So come to find out, though, a lot of those doubts and those fears that we have, especially as women, I know some men too, but especially as women, because, you know, let's just admit it, like we have a lot more going on in our heads that just, you know, just a lot going on, taking care of the kid. And I know that I'm not taking that away from any of the men in here, but for me, it's mostly always a problem with the women that I know. And a lot of that stems from a lot of childhood trauma. These things that happen to us in our childhood stick with us for years. Even as we're older, like a lot of that stuff sticks with us for years. So all of that, just to give you a little bit of information about who I am and why I even do this, is because I just want to get the message out to everyone that if I can do this, anyone can do this. And I love real estate. I love all the different avenues that getting your real estate license leads you to, all the different doors that it opens. You don't just have to be a buyer agent or a seller agent. There's so many more things that you could do with it. It's all up to you and your entrepreneurial mind and what you think that you can do, because you can do all of it. But here's the thing. I know so many agents who want to do all this stuff, but don't know how, don't know where to go. It's always the how that's missing. I remember when I was at KW and I was there for about 5 years, I was walking through the halls and all the doors were closed. And they had signs on the doors that said, please do not interrupt lead generating. And I'm like, well, what are they doing? Like, I learned, obviously, and I ended up in one of those big offices with the assistant, with the buyer agent, with all that. But when I first started there, I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. And I started to build my business and I got it. And I have an entrepreneurial mindset, a learning mindset, and I'm always open-minded. And so the first thing you got to figure out in your real estate business is, what are you missing? Are you where you want to be in this business or not? Yes or no? And so what I'm about to share with you guys is the system that I created for myself and for the agents. Once I started mentoring, I created this and it's just grown from there. But I created the system. It's called Freedom to Flourish in Real Estate, because I had to find myself the freedom to be able to flourish. You can't flourish when you have all this self-doubt and you worry about all the things that are missing and you're negative, like all these things. I learned how to get rid of them and how to find that freedom to flourish. And so that's what I'm about to share with you, are these 4 pillars. And this, I'm going to do more on this later, but I wanted to just bring this up real quick. I do everything. This is like my Bible for my real estate business. The 12-week year, the book. I have the book right here. It's got all these bookmarks. I refer back to it often. I love it. I have it on Audible. I have journaled probably 90 pages through this book while I've listened to it. I listen to it every year, probably 2 or 3 times. So absolute great book to help you figure out, what is your why? What are your goals? What do you want to implement? And then you're going to chunk it and you're going to break it down into bite-sized pieces. So I just wanted to throw this little slide in here, and I'm going to revisit this here in a little bit. So and then we're going to talk about next year. But first, we got to figure out what's missing in your business. And you're on this call mid-November. You've got the rest of the year to figure this out. So it's not like there's a hurry if you start your stuff in January. I don't personally do anything different in January that I did in December. I plan out my whole year and I do the work. So I have everything laid out that I'm implementing now. And I know, I already know what I'm going to do in January. So we're going to get into that more later. But let me go into these 4 pillars. So no matter where you're at in your real estate business, you're working on one of these pillars. And this is what I broke it down to and what made so much sense to me. If you're thinking you want to add something to it, I'm going to give you guys a plan and you could make it your own. I'm not saying that this stuff is going to work for everybody. I'm just sharing what works for me and how I'm able to condense all of that chaos and all of that noise and all of those to-do things into these 4 pillars. So let's dig into these. So I love Tony Robbins, been to his stuff, love him. And I love this saying, what we focus on determines how we feel, and how we feel, our state of mind, powerfully influences our actions and our interactions. I think this is a saying that we should visit as real estate agents like every single morning, because it's a good way to set your day. Think about it. Where is your state of mind? Is it in a good place? Because if it's not, you're not going to want to do those calls. You're not going to want to lead generate. You're not going to want to plan. You're just going to want to do something busy work. And so I think it's really important to keep that in mind. So the first pillar, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this for you guys, because I think it's really important that you dig into your mindset and your daily routine. And I'm going to start this with a lot of what Angela, my coach for 3 years is Angela Kristen Taylor. She's on this call and she's fabulous, amazing, and has helped me overcome so much of this stuff. I don't want to say overcome, but more like work through, so that I didn't have some of these issues anymore. But I want to credit even just these 2 words, past trauma. And a lot of that is trying to figure out, like, where are these blocks coming from? So we're all in a different place here, but most likely we all have some kind of trauma in our past, whether that be from your childhood, your teenage years, for me, my first marriage in my 20s, like that was like a whole nightmare in itself. But, I'd love to see in the chat, like, you guys put in your chat or raise your hand, something like, who can relate with this, with like past trauma in your life. I can't see anything, but I'll keep going. But I just want, I want everyone to know you're not alone. So, but here's the thing, how you handle that stuff is what's going to determine your success. So where are you in that healing journey? Don't stay stuck in that same story. If you wake up every day telling yourself you can't do something because of this happening to you, guess what? You're not going to be able to do it. You have to change that story. But the first thing before you can change that story is you have to figure out, what story are you telling? What loops are going on in your head that are bringing negativity to you, to where you're stopping what you know you need to be doing? Become a fly on the wall inside of your head, and throughout the day, stop and journal what you're thinking. Figure this out, because it does matter. You can get through this stuff, but if you're the type of person who thinks that you're always right, and certain things don't apply to you, you're probably the one that needs to listen the most to other things. Like, open up your mind and hear from people who could help you, so that you can move past that and become a more of a thought leader, more of a open-minded, I'm trying to think of, you guys mute, please. If you're not muted, do you mind muting? Because it takes me off track when I hear people talking. Unless you have a question, then interrupt me. But figure that out. What are those loops? What are you telling yourself all day? And then do the work to heal those. And you know what? If you need to work on those, Angela Kristen Taylor is your girl. She'll help you. And she has some awesome stuff to help you just reach out to her. She's on this call. We can't live in the past and the future at the same time. Like, you have to get out of the past, get into your future, and start planning. I'm a planner. I'm a systems girl. I create a system for everything. Charles, are you or Jay, either one, keeping an eye on the chat? Like, if there's any questions, will you guys let me know?
Gotcha.
Yep, no problem. Got
Awesome.
it.
I'll look at it later, but I don't want to stop. So Hilda Pass, move on to the beautiful life that you have waiting for you. Even in this market, it doesn't matter. This market is just a market. It's just a real estate market. Like, we just got to get through it. It's been that way for 21 years. We've gone through it, ups and downs. It's always going to happen. Doesn't matter. Work on your plan. Stop focusing on what's going on out there. People are still buying houses. They're buying houses. They're selling houses. They have to move. The one thing I always told myself that I knew I was in the right career is because people always got to move. Like, you just got to figure out how to have a bigger share of that market if you're not happy with the business. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is a slide that I always throw in here because I see so many real estate agents with comparisonitis. Like, stop comparing yourself to other agents. Work on your plan. We all started at zero. When I stepped on that phone duty floor, I had no idea what I was doing. I did it anyway, and I did it well. And then I learned from my mistakes, and I learned how to do it different. You guys have all of us and all these other people and so many things online. If you focus on the right thing and implement it into your business, then you can be successful. So, and then time blocking, so important. I'm not a time blocker like for time blocking in an hour, but I'm a time blocker for blocking off a day. Like, if I have something I need to work on, I time block for the day. But my point is, you have to get it on your calendar. You have to know what it is you need to implement, and you need to get it on your calendar. So that's a lot of the mindset stuff. Here is a slide that could just give you some different ideas for taking that negative mindset that you have and making it more positive. I really like focusing on your vision, figuring out what your vision is. That is in my abundance plan that I'm going to share with you guys, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But really visualizing where you want to be, not that that's going to magically happen. You got to do the work to get there. But when you figure out where you want to go, it's a lot easier to set the route and go through the right steps in order to get there. Love guided meditations, reading, inspiring YouTube videos, not the news. Like, wake up and get your 15 minutes of news and headlines and then move on. I'm all about health these days, healthy lifestyle, yoga, walking, reading and writing your intentions, knowing what they are. Always have a coach. Like, if you can't afford a coach, come to my Tuesday classes every single Tuesday. Well, for the first 4 weeks, I'm going to go into that a little bit later. I'll be your free coach until you decide what funnels you want to implement and go get a different coach. So those are just some of the ideas for mindset. So now let's go into pillar number 2. Any questions about mindset, y'all? I would love to have any questions or conversations about mindset. Charles, you could even put in your 2 cents if you'd like to while I take a drink here. Or not.
Well, I'm here. My 2 cents. I'm following with you. I'm taking notes over here, Dawn. My 2 cents is about I'm here for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's dig into foundations now. Foundations covers a lot of ground, and foundations is something that you set up. It takes a while to get set up, but once you get it set up, you can automate it, and then you may have to get into it for a little bit. And let's just use your CRM for an example of this. So, for instance, your CRM, in my opinion, that is my business. If someone were to tell me they want to buy my business, guess what? They're buying my database. They're buying all those people that I've spent years adding to my CRM. However, 70% of realtors don't use their CRM. I'm like, how do you even do any business? If you're not using your CRM, you have to open your CRM. You have to get these campaigns, notifications, text messages, emails, newsletters. Like, you have to get these things set up. This is how you communicate with your people. So CRM is the number one foundation. We're going to start there. I love my VIP database. My VIP database is something I started building in like 2012. Once I went to Keller Williams, I started building this VIP database, and I'm going to give you guys a blank copy so you can start your own too. I have lots of stuff at the end that I'm going to give you that will help you with all of this. So VIP database is anyone that I know, love, and trust, and that I know would refer business to me. I want to prove to them and show them and send them my stuff so that they're my audience. Like, they see that I'm doing business as a real estate agent. I don't just get my license and just sit there. Like, I got to do the work to show them that I'm doing the business. So CRM, VIP database are awesome. Lots more to say about that, and we work on that on Tuesdays, every second Tuesday of every month. So I could dig into that a lot deeper. I could go into that for hours. Logos and colors and are so important. Branding, like, know your stuff. So when you go create these beautiful pieces to share on social media, your branding looks good. So I really like getting good content that matches, so that when people open up your page, they, especially on Instagram, like, they see everything looks good and it looks professional or whatever, shows your personality. Offers is huge. Creating an offer to offer your audience. For instance, like, do you have a home buying guide, a relocation guide, a home selling guide? Like, what are your offers that you're putting out there into the world so that people want to reach out to you and work with you? That's so important. Is to have an offer. It could just be one offer. My newest funnel is relocation, and I'm working on an awesome relocation offer so that I could start handing that out there. But I have 10 different guides to help with everything from short sales to whatever. I created a link tree and I put them all in my link tree, so anybody could go get them. But the way they get them is through filling out a landing page that I created, and then I get their information and they get my offer, basically. So Canva, so that you could go create all of that stuff. Social media sites. What social media sites are you going to learn and excel in? Like, I think Facebook should be the first one, but that's because I'm 54 and that's where I'm at. It could be Instagram, it could be TikTok. I would highly recommend you not do them all. I like Facebook because I can connect Facebook and Instagram, and it's a twofer. Like I get two for the price of one. And so I have those links, so anything I ever post goes on one and goes on the other. If you're going to do TikTok and be a TikTok realtor, then focus on TikTok. Whatever you're going to do it at a high level before you add another one on. Know what you're doing. Don't just post to post to have a strategy, so that you put your offer out there and you capture that lead, you get them into your CRM, you start marketing to them and giving them valuable information. You reach out to them, you get to know them, and eventually they're going to be on your VIP database, because when they're ready to buy or sell a house, they're going to call you because you've been in front of them. You're top of mind for them. You're not just some realtor that they heard got their real estate license. Like, you've shown them that you're going to educate them and help them. All right. So these last two, realtor basics, that is a lot for newer agents who have not taken every single class that your board of realtors offers. you need to know how to use your MLS. You need to know how to do a CMA. You need to know how to look up the comps. You need to know when your realtor tours are. There's so many different things that your MLS or your board of realtors offers you. And I see so many agents just get their MLS and then they want, they don't take those classes so that they know how to use the tools that they have available. And there's been years I'm guilty of that too. And I'm like, man, I need to get in there and relearn that because they changed it. Yeah, we'll talk about that another time, how they change everything. But anyway, no matter what, you've got to relearn it. And that's just the way it is. Like, just get used to it. That is technology. It's always going to be evolving. It's your job to make sure that you know how to use these tools. And education. This has been brought to my attention recently by a friend of mine who joined me here at Epic, Michelle, and I don't even know if she's on this call, but one of the things that realtors don't do, we take the minimum amount of education, and that is really not doing a service to our clients. We should be educating ourselves consistently, constantly about everything going on in the real estate world, not know what's going on with NAR, with all of that stuff, because you fear what you don't know. But once you get to know what's going on, like, it's so much clearer and so much easier to just do what you need to do, adjust, and then move on and still go on about your business, not live in fear. So many agents, we've talked about this all week since the whole NAR thing, about that, and it's like it's no different. Like, we've always been able to do this. Let's just go do our business and show our value by proving that we're the realtor that these people need to work with, so that they get the best deal, so that they get the best rates, so that they get the best service, and boom, and then just build that VIP database. Those are closed people, by the way. All my closed clients, well, let's just say if they were a good client, they go on my VIP database. If they were a pain in the ass, they get deleted. I'm not adding anybody else onto my database that's going to give me any grief or bring me any other clients these days who are going to give me grief. I don't want to work with people like that. I want to work with people who are grateful, who are kind, who are thankful, or who just want the world to be a better place. So that's the kind of people that we end up working with most of the time. Some do get deleted though. All right, so let's move on. Now we're going to talk about that third pillar, automations. So automations, and I'm just going to breeze right through this one because I think I'm already kind of getting behind. Yeah. So automations, I'm all about systemize it first. Get a system so that you'll do the work, and then automate it. And then after you automate it, delegate it. Get an assistant. I have 2 virtual assistants, and that has been life changing for me. I love my assistants. I've had them both for over a year, and they have been just life changing. Anything that can go on this, like, they can do. Well, they can do a lot more. A lot of the stuff in your business can be done by either a virtual assistant or an assistant, maybe even AI, who knows? But some of the things that are important for me, and when I train agents, I make sure that they know how to use, is Google Chrome, Google Drive, to just Google everything, like Google My Business. Everything Google is valuable for our businesses. Buyer and seller presentation. When you go out to a listing appointment, or you have a buyer appointment at a coffee shop or something, do you have a presentation? Do you have it internalized? Do you offer your clients valuable information that's going to educate them in that presentation? I have a whole thing that I go through for buyers, and I used to meet them for coffee. I love buying them a coffee and just sitting down, getting to know them, and then going through my presentation, showing them my value. I never had a problem getting them to sign a buyer rep after doing all of that. And I did that even when I was at KW and had an office. And then some of the Google Drive stuff, closing spreadsheet, budget spreadsheet. I use what's called a board. Back in the old days when I had an office, we used to use like a whiteboard, but I just made it into an Excel spreadsheet and can look at my business anytime on Google Drive. So current year details, I've been keeping track of all that stuff since I don't even know how long ago, forever. I could just pull it up and look at anything at any time on any device that I have. So these are just great automations. I'm sure there's a dozen more. Next thing I want to talk about is lead generation funnels. Now, you got your mindset right. You've got your daily planner figured out. You know what you need to do. You know what you need to implement. You have your spreadsheets all set up. So you set the space so you can now go get the business. Now, this is where we get into the nuts and bolts of being a real estate agent. It's the lead generation funnels. And what does this look like? So I'm going to go through a few, and I want you guys to think of a funnel, just like a funnel where at the top it's really big and wide, and then you narrow it down, and at the bottom you fall through, right? So funnels, everybody's going to start at the top of whatever funnel you create. And you guys hear all of this all the time. And there's people selling all of these different funnels on how to do it everywhere. I mean, you could do it for free on YouTube. You could hire a coach, whatever. But what are the funnels that you want to do? Don't be the agent who gets their real estate license and does this funnel, one funnel. My least favorite funnel is friends and family, word of mouth. That is not a funnel. That is not a funnel. Take those people, your friends and family, get them on your VIP database so that you can go have a system so that you could go communicate on social media, get the algorithms working in your favor so that they see your marketing, get them on send out cards or a weekly newsletter. You've got to show them, you've got to be top of mind. You got to touch them. I mean, I touch mine like at least once a month, at least twice a month, because I do a newsletter. I use HomeBot. I love HomeBot. I have all my VIP people on HomeBot. So many different things that you could do. So these are just a few of those funnels though. VIP database. How many of you on this call have a VIP database and you know how many people you have on it, and it's like 200, and that has their email address, their phone number, their mailing address, maybe even their birthdays, like all of this stuff. I share with you just a Google spreadsheet that has all of that on it, and you could just go fill it out. If you don't have that, that's the first funnel I highly, highly advise you to do. It is the most important one. And it's the one that I guarantee you, ask any successful realtor what their number one source of business is, and it's going to be friends, family, past clients, referrals, all of that, right? So that's the first one. I use listings to leads to do all my internet marketing. I have a link for that for all of you, that you get a 21-day free trial. I know if you're at Epic already, we are supposed to be getting Social Bay someday, and that will replace for me listings to leads, which is like $60 a month. But until then, I love listings to leads. They have everything from PDFs in there to scripts for you to use for reels. They have awesome websites for your sellers if you have listings. They have great landing pages. They have just all kinds of different things that you could use to go in and do your marketing all on social media. So that brings me to social media. I know a lot of agents who just do social media, and they've found a niche that they're doing and it works, and they're getting leads that way. If you're not going to do any of these other things, then you're going to have to do some paid leads, and good luck with that these days. Because I used to do Zillow, and I spent $3,000 to $5,000 a month, but we were closing deals until we didn't for about 3 or 4 months. And I was like, okay, something's changing about Zillow. So I quit that, went to realtor.com. But I just talked to an agent the other day who's doing realtor.com and is closing 1 or 2 deals a month. That pays for itself. As long as it pays for itself over a year, it's worth it. I knew one agent who, she had money in the bank or credit or something, but she just decided when she got her license and moved to an area, she was going to spend $5,000 a month on Zillow. I guarantee you're going to get at least one deal out of spending that much if you work the damn CRM. If you're just going to pay for the leads and then not follow up, don't bother. So super important to be using your CRM to connect with all those people, but nothing wrong with paid leads. You just got to figure out what works in your area and go for it. Referrals from realtors. I get a lot of those. So that's a really good funnel. For sale by owners, farming, doesn't really matter. The funnel, my newest funnel is video, relocation and video, and a new YouTube channel because my good friend Curtis has this program and I loved it and I bought into it, and he is my coach right now, and that is who I'm using to do all of my videos and my newsletters and video. And I love it. I don't get to do it enough because I'm so busy doing all this other stuff, but I'll eventually get it. But that's what I did. And I'm creating the offer to put out with that funnel. Each funnel that you do should have its own offer. Now, if you use something like listings to leads, they're going to give you a ton of offers and you'll be able to go in and figure out which one you want to do. The offer that I use for my VIP database is HomeBot. So you need to think of the top of the funnel as the offer. So the offer comes first, the funnel comes after. All those steps that go with creating that funnel and getting them from the top to the bottom of the funnel are all about I just had a thought. I'm going to do a funnel. I'm going to do a funnel and add all these steps into it eventually. But yeah, the offer is the top, the bottom is the close. So you get to pick. This is the beauty though, you guys. Like, don't pick for sell by owners if you don't like dealing with people who think that they're always right, who think that they don't need you, and who most likely don't want to work with you. Like, that's not going to be a good funnel because you're going to be hit up every day, every conversation with these people who are like that. I'm not like that, but I know cold callers who are great with those people and can overcome all of those blocks, all that stuff. Expireds. I like expireds a lot better than I do FSBOs because those people are hurting. They're sad. They feel like they got screwed and they just they need an answer, but they need somebody who knows their stuff because their house didn't sell, most likely because it's overpriced in the current market, or it needed to be fixed up first, whatever the reason. Expireds are okay. You guys, there's like 100 more of these. There's like so many different funnels. PTA. Angela actually has an amazing workshop that she does, and it's called Become the Local Legend. I don't even think about this, but I need to put this on here. This is for me, it's my Jeep club. We have a Jeep club. I'm on the fundraising committee. It gives me all kinds of content about my city. We're literally getting ready to go on a wheelin'. We have a Jeep, big Jeep called the White Rabbit. And I'm going to be doing photos all weekend because we're going to be at this fundraiser called Wheeling for the Wounded for this weekend, raising money and helping people who have been injured in the service. And we take them for rides in our Jeeps. Like, it's so cool. So who are your people? If you're not really sure, that's where you start. I always think of them as my VIP database also, but that's a whole funnel in its own. Like, who are your people? What do you do? I had an agent the other day. I was trying to help her figure it out. And I was like, you help women overcome divorce and buy their own house and find their power. Like, make a Facebook group and that could be your people. And then you just, you build relationships, you send them the stuff, and you just continue working on all this stuff. So lots of different funnels. All right. So those are the 4 pillars that I that I focus on. And if I'm off on something, I figure out what it is, and that's what I work into my schedule. So I want to talk about next year, though. So how do we do this and figure out what it is this year that you need to implement and work into next year? If you read the book, or if you've never read it, I highly recommend it. But the 12-week year talks about doing your business in 12-week chunks. I chunk 12 weeks every year. I only do 3. I used to do 4, and then I spent a couple of weeks out of each one not working on it. Now next year I'm going to do 3. This year I did 3, much better, because I want to schedule that time off. I don't want to start everything in January. My first one's going to start in February, maybe even March, but one in the spring, one over the summer, and one in the fall. And then the rest of the time, take that off. Visit what you did right, what you did wrong. And the book will tell you all about this. I don't have time to go into all the different lessons. That's like a whole day class if I was to go into what that would be. But I would start with those 4 pillars, and I would brain dump on a piece of paper or your computer, whatever, brain dump all the things that I just talked about that you're missing. Put them all on one piece of paper, and join me on Tuesday of next week, where next Tuesday, we're talking about foundations. I do a call. You could just write it down, donloading.live, every single Tuesday for any agent. I don't care what broker you're with. I don't care. I feel like if you help enough people get what they need, you're always going to get what you need. And I love that. And I always want to help empower people. And that's just where I find joy. And so I just get on that one call, and everybody's welcome to come to it. Brain dump, though. And then after you brain dump all the things that you need to implement into your business, you're going to go beside of it, and you're going to prioritize it. So I want you to think of your 12 weeks. So we'll just, for instance, start this in January. You get to decide, though. There's no rule. Don't make January 1st be like your first day. Maybe you take the rest of this year, and you have your 12 weeks start December 1st and go from then until March. Like, you figure out what works for you. But if you break these tasks down into those 12 weeks, and you give yourself room and space to implement these things, it's so much easier. You don't have to tackle everything today. You get to get it out of your head and into the week that you're going to implement it. But it's really important that you know what you need to implement. You prioritize it, and then you'll map it out into each 12 weeks for 2024. So sit down with the calendar. I also have a link on my link tree that I'm going to give you guys to my favorite planner. I love this Law of Attraction planner because it breaks down every month. Before the month, it gives you the pages that you need to sit and focus and ponder what it is you want to do for the month. So pick your 3 months that you're going to do your 12 weeks in, and go focus on those weeks and get the work done in those weeks. So, and that's just all it is. What do you need to implement? And so, you can kind of figure out what you want to do for the whole year, but I guarantee you could probably get it all done in the first 12 weeks. And then your business is going to go to a different level. And the next 12 weeks, you're going to need to do something else, because you're going to have all those things implemented in that first 12 weeks. So you'll be surprised if you read this book, how much you could get done in 12 weeks when you're able to stay focused on doing the things you know you need to do. So what I have for anybody on this call today is join me on Tuesdays at donloading.live, 2:00 Central, every month, every year, every week. I'm sorry, every week, every month, every year. I've been doing these calls for years. And week 1, we talk about mindset and your plan. What does your plan look like? I'm going to share a blank plan with you guys here in a minute. Week 2, we talk about foundations. I just do like a 15-minute review of it, and then I open it up for Q&A. Like, what can I help you with? Where are you missing the boat here? Week 3, automations. Week 4, funnels. I love funnels, and I usually go into a little bit more in week 4 with funnels because I want to help make sure everybody has their VIP database, and I just repeat it every month. My story, that's all in the book now, so blah blah, it's all there. It's recorded. You can play it back and read that later if you want to. If you ever want to have a call with me, I have a website, talktodawn.com. You can book a call with me there. And I don't want you to ever forget, you guys, if you can dream it, have the courage to take action and have discipline to stay on the right path, you will make it. If I can do it, anybody can. So now I'm going to open up a couple of other tabs and just show you where my free tools for your success are in my Facebook group. I have a private Facebook group. Anybody can join. It's called Real Estate Untangled, because I just want to help untangle this chaos that we have so that we can all just focus on our own businesses. And that's it. It's that easy. And you get all this other stuff too. So if you're not part of that group, I'm going to share all of this right now. So let me go ahead. Any questions? Does anybody have any questions?
A lot of information to absorb, Dawn.
Dawn, that's awesome. Did you even breathe? I'm not used to someone talking to me that long unless I'm being yelled at. Thank you.
I'm out of water, that's for sure. Hey, I could go on for another hour. Ask Angela. But is it helpful? Does that help you guys kind of get focused on what it is you need to implement in your business? That's what's important. Like, I'm sorry, I know I talk fast. I need to try to stop that, but I can't. It's me.
What I appreciate is it's the foundation. It's simple. It's the basics. And we all need reminders about the basics because you can get off course real easily. You can have one bad call, one bad showing, one day where you just don't give it your all, and then that turns into a bad habit. So thank you for the reminder.
Exactly. And when you have your plan, so here's what I'm going to give you guys. So hold on, where did that go? Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is my private group, Real Estate Untangled. So anybody could come in here, and if you come in here and you go to featured, then, and I'm going to just share this in the link in the chat box, then you come to this link tree. So this is my link tree. And this every month I do now a real estate abundance plan challenge. So that is a lot like what I just did, but this was more for planning for 2024, but it's a lot of the same. But if anybody wants to hear this again, you could click here and sign up for that challenge. This is the abundance plan download. So I want you guys to do your own plan. So I have my own abundance plan laid out. How are we? Oh, wow. I better hurry. Okay. So, when you open this, you just have to make a copy, and then you're able to make it your own. And it's 4 weeks in here. So week 1 is if you join me in the group, or if you don't, it doesn't really matter. You could just use this and go figure it out. What's your why? What's your vision of your emotions, your health, your wealth, your relationships? Week 2, your foundations, your CRM, like what are these things? Get them in here so that you can work from this instead of working from nothing. I have to have it wrote down. I have to have a plan because I need it out of my head. I'll visit it when I open my plan and I'm planning my week, but I do too many things. I cannot remember all this stuff. Here's also, I put the link of the VIP database spreadsheet in this plan for you. Ads you will run weekly. These are just examples of some of the things that y'all can post and share. Week 3, automations, all in here. Week 4, what are your lead generation funnels? What do you want to do? So that's all in there. I'm going to go ahead and just grab the, and then also there's also a link to the VIP database, send out cards, listings to leads. If you use this link, you get 21 days free, and they'll give you so much content that you could probably just not even do anything after the 21 days. But I keep it because I work with sellers all the time and I love the website. It's the one program I have kept for the past since 2012. It's stayed with me. I've never canceled it. my favorite planner, my YouTube channel where I have a lot of different trainings on there that I do, the Real Estate Untangled Facebook group, and Instagram. So I'm going to just copy this for you guys and put it in the chat. And then you could go and grab any of this that you need. And then that is the end of my presentation. If I can remember, get out of this now. All right.
All right. All mics now can be unmute. Now you
Yep,
can
you
interrupt.
guys could